All right, don't get too excited because I'm not like back. I'm just really bored because I'm in Fresno in my apartment. I'm out here working the 2 weeks out of the month that I'm out here working. So I'm not like coming back doing a bunch of toy reviews. I just saw these in Target. I really wanted this Bane and the Scarecrow figure. Unfortunately, I had to buy these other shitty figures to get it. Well, they're not really shitty. They're just figures that I never really wanted in my collection. So I went ahead and picked them up, and I figured we'll take a quick look at them. I haven't did a video in a while. Everybody keeps asking me if I'm going to do a video. Yes, I'm going to do a video, but when I come home, I either want to ride my dirt bike, hang out with my family, play video games. I have been reorganizing my toy room. I'm a little over 10,000 action figures. So just the top section of my toy room, if you've seen my toy room before, that's like 10 feet up in the air. There's thousands of action figures up there. I just got that portion done. It probably took me like 16 hours to do it. So it's probably going to take me like another month to redo the whole entire toy room. When I do that, I would like to do a little bit more collection videos versus your crappy just review video that everybody else is doing. So you got these figures, and here's the thing with action figure and toy review guys. A lot of these guys they're thinking that they're going to get free toys someday, so they never want to be too brutally honest on these, or they're just so hyped up on action figures that they think that everything that they see is amazing. And I have to admit, I was kind of doing the same thing. I went to Toy Fair. When you go to Toy Fair, it's a totally different feel than when you go to Comic-Con or any other show. Toy Fair is the one where you actually get to see all the people that are running these companies that are actually making these action figures. And it's sad as collectors to see other collectors there because it's basically every guy with a YouTube channel basically getting in line to suck somebody's dick to try to get free action figures. It's so sad. Like when you go to like the Marvel thing and you see this guy, oh look, there's Jesse Falcon, which Jesse Falcon's awesome, and Dwight, by the way. Don't think that I'm talking shit about them because I really do like the guys. But then you just see everybody just trying to stand there like, oh look, notice me, please say something to me, and they want to introduce themselves and try to get lined up on the free toys. It's actually really sad. I do love all my fellow action figure collectors, but when you see that, it's just like, come on, guys, have a little pride. And I'm not going to pretend like I haven't did it either, because then when I went over the Todd McFarlane booth and I saw Todd, I was a little bit starstruck because I hold Todd up there with almost as high as I do Stan Lee. You got to figure this is a guy that basically almost put DC and Marvel out of business, because when he started making Spawn shit, nobody really gave a shit. And then Marvel like actually quit making toys and they started making other characters that weren't like Marvel characters, which was a really weird time in collecting, but awesome all at the same time, because we got the Pit, oh, that big giant ape. I did a couple of videos on him. But I'm not sucking ass anymore, so I can actually tell you what I really think about these action figures. And I mean, Todd, he does a great job. Like, you got him, I'm pretty sure his name's Omega. He's like the villain in the story. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I know the story. You can read the back of the cards, and it kind of gives you a little bit of the story. This is the villain figure. This is not a character I ever wanted. Granted, he is an original sculpt. The toy actually looks pretty good. The scale's a little bit bigger than we'd all like to see. The articulation's pretty good, but nothing great. You know how it works. Tons of sculpted detail on here. Here's what I like. He makes an action figure like this, and unless he repaints it in that shitty gold or red or bold McFarlane thing that he loves to do, you're not getting this action figure again. So I definitely respect the one-time use of an action figure. Then you got this Batman in like this straight jacket outfit. Have no clue about the story. I like the straps on the back, like they're kind of replicating the cape. And the cape, the coolest thing about that is the Joker head in there. God, I love that. This action figure, like these action figures, I really don't even want them in my toy room. It's like, I have no attachment to this character. I'm not really even a DC fan. Like, I like Marvel, Marvel Legends, like they just basically, sometimes they do original sculpts, but a lot of times they just give you the same thing, slap a new head on it, resell it to us like Frogman, and I thought Frogman was fucking amazing. Just whatever. And then you got this dyke Wonder Woman, and I'm sure she looked just like this in the comics. For you fans that were looking, like, who was sitting there going, God, I really hope they make that dyke Wonder Woman figure. That would be really cool. And Todd, you're an artist. Like, you used to be the guy that was making McFarlane figures, like all these badass Spawn figures, and everybody's going, dude, but there's no articulation. And at the time, we really haven't seen that much good articulation. So with those little statue figures, I thought they were great because they look great. They look great on my shelf. All I do is open these things, put them on my shelf. I don't take pictures of them. I don't play with them. I don't pose them. I don't do a whole lot with them. And then you take articulation like this. Todd, you're an artist. Does this look like art when you put that flesh tone pin in that red boot? Does that look like artwork to you? No, that looks like shit to me. Does this ball on the ankle look like art to you? No, that also looks like shit. When you put a gold hinge running through a flesh tone leg, does that look like art to you? No, that looks like shit. This character, I mean, whatever. I don't know who's driving the bus over there. If McFarlane's do it, or if DC just tells him what figures that he has to make and he makes the best of a bad situation. All these figures are like whatever. These are like figures that I want to like put back in the package, take the builder piece out, and return it with something else and get my money back. Because I really don't have room on my shelf for characters that I don't really have an attachment to. Granted, I already have like 8,000 figures like that in my toy room, but I'm trying to limit that problem. And then you take this, a true work of art. Well, almost. He tried. This thing is a collect and connect. The pins on it, it's like he hasn't quite figured it out yet. They're basically shit. They got this little ridge on them. If you turn the legs too much, the legs will pop right off. The wrist will pop right off, and it's really hard to get. I'll try to, if you move it, it's actually working right now. It was popping off. Maybe I got it in there good. It's working pretty good. I'm afraid to mess with the legs though, because they're really hard to get on there. Like he's got this rubberized shorts around the leg, and you got to like shift that thing around to get the leg in there. I actually think I got it. It did take a while to get it together good. Some of the things that I love that he does, this soft rubber like on the tank top, like on the wife beater, absolutely amazing. If you pick that up, there's like a wife beater underneath. You can see it right there, which look at that texture on there. Everything is good. It's like he almost tried to put an ab crunch on it, but it doesn't really work with it. He put the Scarecrow on the back. Like the Scarecrow is actually the action figure. This is what's amazing. So you take this Scarecrow action figure. And when I got this, when I got the Bane, he had the hole on the back. I'm like, what the hell does that hole do? Like, I don't get it. And I was looking at the Scarecrow, and I couldn't figure it out. And I just kept looking at it, playing with it, messing with it, which is probably something I should do before I even attempt to review these things. I know the head was on. I actually think it got together pretty good. The articulation on this thing, it's mediocre at best, but god damn, look at this thing. One of the coolest Bane figures I own. Like, I love the color of the skin. I love how like the green serum is on here instead of on his back. They mix it up a little bit. The articulation on the elbows, caution on this. This is like lawsuit right here. You see that point on there? So when you move this, that thing like grabs your skin, and it will really bite you on that. Single joint on the elbow, which is cool with me as long as it looks good. I really don't give a shit about the articulation. The knees, I had a hard time getting those to move. The ankles move around. The toes are pretty good. It's just an awesome action figure. He's a little stingy with the paint on this. Like, he got all these pouches on there. He could have did a little bit more. And here's the cool thing about the Scarecrow. You got this Scarecrow. It has a see-through mask on here. You can like pop this thing off, which is just him going over the top. Look at that. Then you got the Scarecrow head underneath. That's amazing. The fingers are like semi-articulated. He didn't do every single finger. He got a little lazy. He did like every other finger, so you can move two at a time instead of one at a time. He didn't articulate the thumb. I kind of wish he would have did that. This little thing, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but this little tailbone thing here, like, it's actually articulated. Like, that thing moves. That's really cool. And I was sitting here looking at this thing, looking at it, and I was like, it thought it had like an ab crunch or something in there, and I kept messing with it, and all of a sudden this pin came out, and I was like, you got to be shitting me. That is the Todd McFarlane that I know. Not the Todd McFarlane that's sitting there hyping up his own DC figures with the mask on, looking like Joe Biden telling you it was a good idea to shut down the pipeline. Not that Todd. This Todd. This is amazing. Keep doing cool shit like that. He's even got like a dent in the back of the head for that to plug in. I didn't realize that. That like plugs in the back of his head. This is amazing. This is the coolest shit I've ever seen. I can't believe he did it. So you take this thing, you pull that pin out, and it actually, well, it did the first time. it plugs right in there. Like really perfect. And he like really locks in there. This is an amazing action figure, Todd. Please keep doing shit like this, not shit like this. To all you guys, sorry I haven't been there as often as I should be. And thanks for watching.